the Penn Museum, the first artifact I examined was the Carkle Altar 7, which is a stone circle as you can see on the screen. The Maya stela were usually paired with an offspring table or altar set in front of them. In some cities, these rounded stones were carved with the day on which the cotton being celebrated on the stela was completed. This stone was carved out in Basil Carkle, and it was made in 1652 CE. So compared to modern day, these stones are basically what you would see in an average church as an altar, or what you would go to eat dinner at. The second artifact I found was the axe, made of wooden, iron, and copper in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This type of axe was used both to show status and currency of the region for over 1,000 years. Powerful people regarded them as objects of prestige and stored them for future trading. They were made with iron and copper materials. They had strong spiritual powers. Iron is considered masculine and copper is considered feminine. The combination of these two offers protected powers and beauty. These faces carved with the blade show the marker's great skill. So compared to modern day, this would basically be your typical axe to cut down a tree, or any useful tool with a blade. Now, it's known to say to cut off a man's entire arm with just one swipe, but is that true?
Oh my god!
On to my third artifact, which is the Niska and Kudai, or translated into nail figures. The lower Zaire River region is where they were found. Figures sewn with nails are used by Congo individuals who are looking for justice, for solutions to particular problems, or the protection against malevolent forces. By promising something to the figure, a client ensures the assistance of supernatural forces controlling the image.
Some paranormal activity! It's warm and moist! A warm, moist sensation that's moving down my left thigh!
After making such an oath, the client hammers a nail or blade into the wood to represent the agreement they have made. Magical material lodged between the mirrors and the abdominates or the heads of the figure attracts powerful spirits. The fourth artifact on my list is the Two Faces of Imperial Power, which is in the marble block that was originally used for honorific inscription that was chiseled off and making it nearly unreadable today.
This is like a flashback.
Lid of the mummy case of Nep Lentitro Cartonnage. This case was the inner part of the coffin used to contain the mummy of Nep Lentitro. During his life, he was an important priest in a major Egyptian temple at Carthage. Originally, gold covered his face, identifying him with the gods whose skin was composed of gold, but this was now faded. So this very case you can see in the picture held the mummy of Nefertitio. We actually don't get to see that mummy or get to see exactly what his face looks like. Of course, it was deteriorated throughout the years, but it is pretty interesting to see what the case looked like and basically what Egyptians would put their most high-ruled rulers in. One of the most largest artifacts I saw was the altar in Japan. This altar is one you might find in a Buddhist temple in Japan. This smaller table in front of Buddha customarily holds candlesticks, incense, and a platter of fruit. Of course, my last artifact is obviously the crystal spear, by far the most magnificent artifact I have in the Penn Museum. An ornamental treasure of Imperial Palace in Beijing, the crystal spear was said to have been a favorite possession of the Emperor Dweger VI, under whose watch Imperial China crumbled. The rock crystal originated in Burma and was shaped into a spear through years of constant rotation in a semi-cylindrical container filled with emergy, garnet powder, and water. What really shocks me the most about this is not the fact that it's just one of the most beautiful, I guess you could say, objects in the Penn Museum, but the fact that it was made over 2,000 years ago, and the way you look at it, it's just how can anybody that long ago, without the materials we have today, actually create something that amazing? And here's a quick interview session of the people I went with the Penn Museum on their quick thoughts on the crystal spear.
What are your thoughts on the crystal spear? It's awesome. I think it's quite interesting. Well, it's very shiny.
And that, everybody, are the 7 artifacts I examined at the Penn Museum. And by far, first entering the Penn Museum, I was very shocked by what I saw. I mean, it says it in a pamphlet that there are over 1 million artifacts in the Penn Museum. And I was expecting a small museum of just a few large and small artifacts, but I mean, they had everything ranging from Iraq's ancient past to Egypt to China to Africa to even Mexico and Central America. They had everything you can think of in each different floors. They had 3 floors of artifacts, and they had small things, large things. They had mummies. So that was by far my favorite part, was entering the Egypt mummy part of the section, because I just love seeing how people thousands of years ago can make pyramids or make these sculptures and think of these like heavens, like people can die in afterlives, and how they can wrap up mummies and put gold on them. And it really shocks me how the way they thought and how everything just communicated in ancient Egypt. But overall, everything at the Penn Museum was really magnificent and amazing, and I would love to visit there again. And that wraps up my University of Pennsylvania Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology project.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.